The most exhausting person in your life isn't your boss, your difficult client, or the person who takes up 2 parking spots. It's the one who won't let you finish a single sentence. Now, I know that sounds dramatic. We all interrupt someone by accident from time to time. We get excited, we misjudge the pause, we have a sudden thought we're terrified of losing. That's not what we're talking about today. We're talking about a pattern, a consistent, predictable habit from a specific person in your life, a partner, a friend, a family member, a coworker who consistently talks over you, cuts you off, and hijacks the conversation. This isn't just about being rude. It's often a subconscious, and sometimes fully conscious, psychological power play. So the question is, why? What is really happening beneath the surface of a seemingly simple conversation? Let's break down the hidden psychology of the constant interrupter. First, the most direct reason, the battle for dominance. In any social interaction, there's a subtle negotiation of status. Who leads? Who follows? Who has the floor? Conversational turn-taking is one of the fundamental, unspoken rules of this negotiation. When someone consistently breaks that rule with you, they are sending a clear, albeit unspoken, message. My voice is more important than yours. My thoughts deserve more airtime. I am the authority here. Think about a work meeting. You're in the middle of presenting a well-thought-out idea, and a specific colleague jumps in. Yeah, but what we really need to do, Island. They haven't just added a thought, they've seized control. They've reframed the conversation around themselves, positioning themselves as the leader and reducing your contribution to a mere footnote. It happens in families, too. An older sibling who has always seen themselves as the one in charge might constantly finish your sentences for you, not to be helpful, but to maintain that lifelong dynamic of being the one who knows best. An interruption, in this context, isn't just a pause in the conversation. It's a statement about your place in it. They aren't just disrespecting your words, they're disrespecting your right to have them. Second, the spotlight hog and a lack of empathy. Some people live their lives as if they are the main character in a movie, and everyone else is just a supporting cast member. Their internal monologue is so loud that they can't or won't hear anyone else's. You see this with the friend who asks, "How are you?" but doesn't wait for the answer. You start to share a problem you're having. "I've been so stressed at work lately, my boss just." And they cut in with, "Oh, you think that's stressful? Let me tell you about my day." The conversation is immediately rerouted back to them. Your experience wasn't heard. It was used as a launchpad for their own monologue. This isn't necessarily a malicious attempt to dominate you, but rather a profound failure of empathy. They are so trapped in their own perspective that they literally cannot register that you have a rich internal world of your own that deserves to be explored. This is a person who doesn't have conversations. They wait for their turn to speak. Their engagement isn't about connection, it's about performance. And when you're talking, you're taking away their spotlight. The interruption is their way of yanking it back. Third, and this one is more complex, the validation seeker. Ironically, constant interruptions don't always come from a place of strength. They can often come from a place of deep insecurity. This person is so desperate to prove their worth, their intelligence, or their value that they can't wait for you to finish. They need to jump in with the answer before you finish the question to show how smart they are. They need to finish your story for you to show how well they get you. They need to offer a solution before you've even fully explained the problem to prove how capable they are. Imagine you're telling a story about a trip you took. We got to the hotel and you won't believe it, the room wasn't ready, right? Oh, that's the worst, you should have used my booking trick. Their interjection wasn't to share in your experience, but to demonstrate their superior knowledge. Their urgency to speak is not a measure of their idea's importance, but often a measure of their own insecurity. They are terrified of being perceived as slow, uninformed, or useless. So, they use interruptions as a tool to constantly signal their value to the room, and more importantly, to themselves. And fourth, the most subtle and damaging, cognitive sabotage. This is where the power play becomes a mind game. When someone repeatedly interrupts you, especially during a disagreement or a serious discussion, it does something profound to your brain. There's a psychological principle called the Zeigarnik effect, which states that our brains have a strong tendency to remember unfinished tasks far more than completed ones. An unfinished sentence is a microtask, When you're cut off, your brain is left with an open loop, a nagging sense of incompletion that creates genuine mental static. A skilled manipulator, consciously or not, can use this to their advantage. Think about an argument with a partner. You're trying to express how their actions made you feel. When you said that yesterday, it really hurt me because it felt like you weren't. Oh, here we go again. You're just being overly sensitive. I was joking. They haven't just disagreed with you. They have completely derailed your train of thought. Now, you're not only trying to remember your original point, but you're also forced to defend yourself against their new accusation of being too sensitive. Your cognitive load is suddenly doubled. You get flustered, you lose your thread, and you give up. And they win the argument, not by having a better point, but by cognitively sabotaging yours. It's a way to win by making you too tired to fight. Over time, this can be incredibly damaging, making you doubt your own thoughts and your ability to articulate them clearly. So when we look at it this way, we see that a pattern of interruption is never just a bad habit. It's a symptom of a deeper dynamic. It's a sign that the other person, for reasons of dominance, self-centeredness, insecurity, or control, does not see the conversation as a shared space of mutual respect. They see it as a territory to be conquered, a stage to be owned, or a game to be won. But here is the most important truth. You can't win a game you didn't agree to play. The moment you recognize the pattern, you are no longer an unwitting participant. You are an observer. And from that position of awareness, you can choose not to play. This doesn't mean you have to become aggressive or rude in return. It means you reclaim your space with calm, firm boundaries. It means holding up a hand and saying, "Hold on, I'd like to finish my thought." It means letting them finish their interruption, pausing, and then saying, "As I was saying before," without missing a beat. It means recognizing that their need to interrupt is about their issues, not about your value. Your voice deserves to be heard. Your stories deserve to be told in their entirety. Your thoughts deserve the space to be fully formed and expressed. Giving someone the gift of your undivided attention is a sign of respect. Demanding that same respect in return is not selfish. It is a fundamental act of self-worth. You are teaching people how to treat you, one finished sentence at a time. So, have you ever dealt with a constant interrupter in your life? How did it make you feel? Share your story in the comments below, because your experiences are valuable. And if this resonated with you, like this video, and subscribe for more insights into the psychology of your daily life. Thanks for watching.